CMD Della Tecnica are our expert panel here to delve into this subject a little bit more. Samarji, thanks very much for joining here. Jimmy, thank you very much for making the time to come and discuss this very interesting topic. I don't know whether you can really call them tricks or you can just call this being extremely non-transparent and deliberately misleading. But let's start with sample flats because you're a principal architect. So tell us, how much of a difference do you see between sample flats which are shown to customers and what they get actually at possession, and where all are the differences?
There are complete paradigm shifts, and when you see a sample flat, what you see is what you don't get. You need to be kind of persistent with the developer and insist and prevail upon the developer to show you exactly the fixtures and fittings that you're going to get. Predominantly, where there's very little saving that's possible on part of the developer once he employs a good architect and a good structural consultant in the basic cost of construction. But yeah, savings can be done in design, and majority of the savings are done in fit outs and finishes items. These are the items that you really need to watch out for and look for. Preferred choice of brands would be standard brands that are available in the market rather than non-standard brands, starting from flush doors to civil fit outs to the kind of vitrified tiles or ceramic tiles that have been used, fixtures, sanitary ware, fittings. If each of these things have been provided by a standardized brand company, you are in safe waters. But what's most important is to actually see what you're going to get rather than see a sample flat and be allowing yourself to get carried away. You need to get into a flat that a developer is handing over an as-is-where-is basis, and that will give you the true picture of what you're going to get for your money.
Samarji, it's extremely difficult to actually map out. Sample flats look extremely polished, they're furnished, so they give you a very, very good picture of what your home could end up being. And the specifications mentioned are pretty much the tiles and the fact that there will be AC fitted and there will be a modular kitchen. You don't go down, within a modular kitchen or within the kind of tiles they'll put in, the range could be huge even though. So having everything branded, is that the answer?
Manisha, the best way to approach this is actually to look into the details of the details. So because you know that buying a home is probably once or twice in a lifetime as a decision that people will take. And there are 4 or 5 important things to watch out for. For example, fittings in the kitchen are a very important part of things to look out for. Bathroom fittings become very important again. The electricals and the engineering within the home become. So these 3 or 4 areas are the key areas. And my suggestion would be that if customers realize that developers by their very nature are marketing a product, and in marketing there's something called creative license, and every product uses it, from cosmetics to slimming products. Everyone uses it. All of those. So all of them use creative license. So I think to some extent creative license is okay and developers are fine to do it. But customers must hone in on the 3 or 4 areas that are critically important. And there no amount of questions are enough. You can keep asking and keep look for documentation which details what you expect. And if you exercise that level of care and you are careful in getting written communication, I don't think you will get into too much of a problem in this day and age. A couple of years ago it was more of a Wild West scenario, but today things are much better. So if you are diligent and particular and focus on written communication with the developer, you should be okay.
You should be okay. Jimmy, tell us in terms of just the quality of construction as well. These are of course the details of inside a house, but I went to a friend's place and again, without naming any developer here, they said they'd moved into a brand new flat and they were trying to get a AC fitted, and there you go, a chunk of wall fell out. So how do you ensure quality there?
See, along with a branded developer, what's very critical is to get into and dwell in who's the architect for the project. Usually architects of a certain repute do not compromise. Who are the services consultants of the project, which our consumers are completely oblivious to. I have never heard of a flat buyer asking a developer who's the MEP consultant of the project. Like you said, they wanted to fit an air conditioner and a portion of the wall fell down. Who are the structural consultants? These 3 are the most critical elements that form a project, and I would give equal amount of weightage to the brand of the developer, to the brand of the architect, to the brand of the MEP consultant, and to the brand of the structural consultant. So if these 3 parameters are taken care of, by and large you are in safe waters, because a reputed architect is going to fight his way with the developer and make sure he doesn't compromise in services, he doesn't compromise in the finishes, because at the end of the day his brand is also at stake, which is attached to the project. A lot of focus and emphasis. You don't expect a layperson who's buying a flat to be knowing about the technicalities and the do's and don'ts of the kind of fit out that has gone into which the developer is providing. It would be a safe bet and a very small investment to get a reasonable mid-level designer and take the designer for a walk in getting what you're going to get from the developer and what you're going to be buying and paying money for. If you do this exercise,
that's an interesting tip that you could actually take a designer. All right, so let's go to the next one then. No EMI till possession, the interest subvention schemes. Now, okay, so you have the developer paying interest till the home comes into your possession, but then the flip side is that those homes are also priced about 8 to 12% more expensive. That's happening, Samarjeet. That's absolutely there, right?
Yes. So, you know, I think consumers must understand that at the end of the day, the developer will extract his price. Now, he can do it either through a subvention scheme where some of the interest payments are wrapped into your purchase price. He can do it through other formats of additional charges for club memberships or hidden fees that are sort of in the grey small print at the bottom. But at the end of the day, the price of the apartment that it's going to eventually cost you will end up being the same. So, the more jugglery that you fall for, it may suit your particular financial circumstances where you might have a cash crunch for 2 years and you're happy paying at the end of 2 years. And if that suits you, then that's fine. But by and large, there's no free lunch. So I don't think there's any scenario where you'll get a genuine discount that you think is coming to you because you bought it on subvention. There is no such thing.
There isn't. So beware. I mean, you might just actually...
The developer cannot sell his product.
That in those cases you do get
the developer has to discount some way or the other. So this is one way he looks at discounting the product and helping consumers take the final decision.
So, you know, even if you end up discounting the product in that way, at the end of the day, the after discount that is available through subvention could also be negotiated upfront as a clear discount upfront. So it's like I said, the end value ends up being the same. So Sameer's point, yeah, correct.
So they're targeting a particular customer who does not want a discount but wants, is living on rent and he cannot pay that monthly EMI. And
the fact of the matter is what Samarjeet said, there are no free lunches.
Yes, absolutely.
So there's somewhere or the other he will recover or cut corners, but ultimately there's not that much of a benefit that you're going to get. So don't fall in. What do you make of these schemes? Jimmy, what's your thought? I know your speciality is of course construction and design, but tell us, I mean, you've been associated with the industry for a long time. The freebies which come, an LCD at booking a home, would you look at those projects suspiciously? Wouldn't you think that maybe they're not able to sell the project? That's the reason why they have to offer the freebies.
I completely
Because
agree
house
with
is
you.
not like a soap, buy one, get one for free.
I completely tend to agree with you. There's nothing like a free lunch. Every developer has a base price and he's going to try and achieve that base price. But then there are marketing costs and sales costs attached with it, and these costs come in different forms and different versions. Either you go through a developer goes through a broker and pays a top line commission to the broker to do a large scale sale, or he goes with the freebies and uses the freebies as a point of attraction. So I would not give too much of weightage that if there are freebies being offered means the project is not selling or the developer is giving an inferior product or he's overpriced himself. These freebies are often tools used to kind of correct the market when you know the transactions are not happening. You're going to give a couple of freebies and make the transactions happen. I would not give too much of weightage, but at the same time when the freebies sound too good to be true, you need to tell yourself there's nothing like a free lunch.
Samarjeet, would you agree with that? Don't give it that much of importance. It could, you know, because every developer will also have a certain amount of money set aside for marketing. So whether he wants to do an ad campaign or does he want to give a LCD for free, it's pretty much his choice on how he does those marketing spends. Because
So
I get a bit suspicious.
So I agree with you, but you know, historically things like homes or doctor services or CS services are not really advertised. So today when these modern age marketing practices are practiced, the Indian customer is a conservative customer, so he tends to worry about, you know, is there something wrong with the product that's requiring such hard sell. But I don't want to caution against painting this whole picture with one brush, because you must remember that the homes are modern today. They have features that people don't understand. You may have a kind of air conditioning, ARV air conditioning, that someone might not understand. So it is for the developer to use his marketing muscle to explain features that are important for customers to get because they were not available before. So I think the calibration here required is that the customer has to realize that there are certain factual benefits and certain part of it is hype and lifestyle building and all of that. And when you're a smart customer and you use the right advice, and like my colleague said, that you can actually look to get an interior designer to give you input. So if you calibrate and you play clever, you can cut through the clutter quite easily and understand what is real value value and what is just part of the marketing buzz that's being created.
Alright, so at the end of it, I think the idea is to make sure that all of you understand, go to the nitty-gritties, don't get taken in by the big marketing splashes or promises, but figure out what are you going to get as a product, and in any kind of subvention schemes or interest waivers, what is the end cost? Are you getting any benefit or not? Samarjeet and Jimmy, thank you very